prep. If you're trying to get into college and you don't know where to start, so I have a guest today, I'll be asking him some of the things he did to get into top colleges here in the US. He's Kosi and he's my son. So introduce yourself, Kosi.
Okay, so hi, I'm Kosi. I am a freshman in college currently. I had to go through the college application season during 2021, which a lot of things were changing. A lot of colleges stopped requiring the use of testing, and it was like the first year I went for that because of the whole pandemic situation. And yeah, so I guess I'll just answer questions about that.
Yes. Can you talk a little bit about the admission process? You know how you have to fill the applications, and you have to make sure you have your essays, your extracurriculum GPAs, and stuff like that.
Yes. So for the admission process for filling out the application, most colleges will use the Common App or the Coalition app, but more often the Common App. And what the Common App is it's like a unified platform for filling out your application. Usually the Common App will ask you like personal identifying information like your name, your address, all that. In addition, it will give you space to fill out your extracurriculars. From when I was filling it out in 2021, the Common App only allowed you to put 10. So you have to put like, you don't actually have to fill it out, or you don't have to put that many. I feel like most colleges are really looking for you to show that you have commitment to a couple of activities and you have like high commitment. But note that is a thing, 10. So for those of you that are like, super go-getters, that have like 20, 30 things you can put there, just put your top 10 most important ones. In addition to that, there's like a small award section, which is kind of like an addendum to that. And the Common App has a one big essay called the personal statement. If I recall correctly, I think it was like 500 to 750 words, and usually they have like a couple prompts. So you should fill that out. In addition to that, a lot of schools have supplementary essays, which are about, it differs from school to school. I think for certain schools, it's like usually like 2 to 3 extra essays. Some are different, like Stanford, I know they have like quite a few smaller, like 50-word responses. And I think they have one larger essay from when I filled it out. Other colleges like Cornel will have like, you just have to write two bigger essays, and that's the supplementary essays. So that's that. The school I'm currently attending, MIT, however, does not use the Common App. It's one of the few that doesn't use the Common App. So you have to go onto their admission portal and fill it out. Yeah, I don't know if you want to ask me more questions.
Yeah, I also was going to ask you, I know you got interviews from some of the schools. I know the MIT one took you like 3 hours, and the Harvard one took you like less than that. Can you explain one of kind of the things they asked, and also who did the interview? Is it the admission office or just the alumni from the school?
So that's a good question. So for the interview, I think my situation was pretty peculiar, and people that went through admissions this year is also pretty peculiar because it's online. So you can't really meet with them, and you can also have, usually when it's not virtual, you have your interview in person, so it's usually someone from your area. But this year, I actually think I had 1 or 2 interviews from someone remote that was like not even the same state as me. So usually, I guess, should I just go on like specifically like different colleges and go into like how those interviews are?
Okay.
Okay, so I will start with MIT. MIT, it was an alumni. He was on the older side, and he's like pretty well into his career. Not everyone's like that. I think MIT, they usually ask alumni to do interviews. Sometimes they don't give people interviews, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like who's available. But mine was an alumni who I think graduated in like
Excuse me.
sorry, who graduated in I think the 70s.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a long time ago. And I think the reason our interview, so usually these interviews, I think MIT's somewhere between like 60 to 90 minutes usually. So 60 to 90 minutes, we kind of covered most of it, but I think the extra time was just we found a good topic to connect on. I think we were talking about engineering and how that crosses over to other fields. So his degree was in mechanical engineering, and we were talking a lot about architecture and how there's just so much you can do with your career outside of engineering, and I think we really clicked on that, and that's kind of why it took that long, but usually they're not that long. Should I go into other schools? So for Harvard was another interview I had. I think I had 2 interviews actually. So sometimes you'll have 0 interviews, sometimes you'll have 1. I think the reason I had 2, this is like speculation, I don't know for sure, is because after the first interview, they were not really sure about me. They were like on the cusp, and so they asked the second interviewer. The first interviewer was someone from admissions. The second interviewer was an alumni interviewing me, and we talked a lot about the CS department at Harvard and how it's like kind of a new one and how there's like a lot of opportunity there. I think that's kind of what we talked about in the second interview. I don't really remember the contents of the first interview. Super off the top
It's
of my
okay.
head.
This is one of the 2 schools he applied. He applied to a lot more schools, and he got into 2 of them. But I want to ask you now, what made you choose MIT over Harvard?
So I think a lot of people, especially when they talk about admissions, talk about the concept of fit. And I mean, definitely now having gone to school for a semester and a half now, I definitely think that's the correct choice. Is like, I feel like MIT fit me better. Like the culture there is somewhere I feel like
And
I would
also
thrive
the
with.
course you're studying, engineering, because MIT is #1 engineering school in the US, and that's your major. So that was part of the decision. What made you choose MIT?
That was part of the decision at the time. I think now, looking back on it, that's not really, I feel like that would not be, if I knew what I knew now, I feel like it would not be a deciding factor because no matter where you go, especially if it's like between Harvard and MIT, you're going to get a good education, a good CS education, and you'll probably be able to tailor it for yourself because it's a university. They'll have lots of courses available, even if it's like they don't have the courses you want. You could do research under a lab. I think that was also another reason why I chose MIT is because they have a very strong undergraduate research program.
Excuse me.
And it was like very, very, very emphasized. I think some crazy statistic, I think it's like 95 to 96% of all MIT undergraduates do research sometime during their stay there. So I think that was a big reason why. Yeah.
Excuse me.
I don't know if that answered your question.
Yes. The final one, your graduation party. You had a graduation party, and it was lit. Did you enjoy it? I saw you dancing.
Did you ask me did I enjoy it? Yeah, of course I enjoyed it. It was a party. It's my party. I think it was really fun. It was fun because my friends came. Yeah. My friends from both. So I went to different high schools and middle schools. My friends from both middle school and high school came. It was pretty fun seeing them. It was also pretty fun learning that some of them knew each other.
Before?
Yeah, I didn't even know. Some of them knew each other from beforehand, which is interesting. But yeah, but it was very fun.
Okay.
It's like
I have to say, to round out this session, because we have more to talk about, I really want to say he got into top universities because of 98% because of him and 1% because of me, 2% because of me because he did all the work. I just encouraged him, right? I pushed you, I encouraged you. I took you to extracurricular activities, stuff like that,
Yeah.
which was required, and he did most of the work. So after he got into these colleges, some mom were asking me, what did I do? I didn't do anything. It's all him.
She's lying. That's not true. She
Who
did
else?
so much.
I did? Okay.
Yeah, she
Okay.
did so much. She's always there for
So-
me. My dad's always there for me. I think it's a lot of
It's hard work. He
If-
did a lot of hard work. You know,
Yeah.
you have to, your grades, your GPA has to be one of the top 10. Your extracurricular, you have to do other things to separate you from other students. You can't just be a normal average student. You have to show the colleges that they want you, you know, you have to show them. And also his essay was really good. The college application, what is it called? The college application essays, right? It has to do a lot of it. It was really good. He did a good job. So thank you for this interview, and we'll see you on the next one.
Close my eyes and drown out sound. It's my